for like 3 maps
Bless
in
you.
the Overwatch chat.
Got it. Perfect. Love to see it. Okay, what got you guys interested in team coaching? Open-ended question.
Well, I just watched a lot of your videos, and I was like, "Yo, he does team coaching.
Yep.
We should get him." And yeah,
Okay.
that's how that happened.
Y'all are masters. You scrimmage weekly. You feel like improve overall team stuff. You have talented individual players, lack cohesion and coordination in certain scenarios. So, to translate, you guys are good players, but you're a bit dumb in the team environment.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm a bit
That was my
dumb
notes for you
in
guys. By the
general.
way. Accurate though, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. It's just like my father used to tell me. Long-term goal would be to win NECC Nationals. Short-term goal is to win our division, collegiate esports. Fair enough. Communication, understanding feels like it's holding you guys back. Team has good mentality towards the game and improvement overall. Okay, that's the biggest thing. That's the most important thing. So that's good to hear. Now, I hope this will be a productive session for the team. Okay, how long have you guys been a team together?
Like,
A few
Like 2
weeks.
months.
Yeah, 2 months.
Some of the players have been playing together for multiple years now, but with Evan as a freshman, so he's new to the team.
I've been here for
Three
5 years.
of the 5 have been playing together for like 2+ years.
Yeah,
Makes
I joined
sense.
late.
Makes sense. So some of y'all have been together. Do we guys have we have a scapegoat yet for whenever we lose?
Me.
Okay, good. That's the very important thing for team coordination, cohesion. Everyone's on the same page. When we lose, it's that person's fault. Okay, and you guys scrimmage once a week. Okay, and let's keep going through this. You guys scrimmage once a week. You, I assume, have goals and certain compositions that you guys have been playing recently. What does that look like recently for you guys in terms of composition?
we play a good amount of Drunken Queen, a good amount of Rom, and a good amount of Ball.
JQ, Ram, Ball. Well, you're a Western team, so Ramattra happens.
Yeah,
JQ, Ram, and Ball. What about the DPS and support line usually?
we play a lot of Juno Brig,
Okay.
a lot of Ana Brig,
Juno.
Bap Lucio.
Bap Lucio as well. Yeah,
I mean, you are Western, so.
yeah.
Okay, Bap, Lucio, DPS line generally?
That's a little more complicated because we're both mainly like hit scan players, but we both have our like flex heroes that we're strong on. Like,
Yep.
I mean, I'm just really Tracer, and then RC is pretty much everything else.
Okay, so I was going to start with that actually, but I guess we can just zoom right into it. So I'm not going to Zapu.
Zopu.
Zopu. Okay, sounds like a medical condition.
Zopu or Luke, whatever you want to say.
Zopu
X,
works for me. Listen, I love medical
whatever's
conditions.
easiest.
Tracer. I'm not going to call you X because that reminds me of Commander X, and we're not going down that road. Tracer plus hit scan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a preference for hit scan characters, like your best 2 hit scan characters?
Probably Widow and Cass.
Okay. And then RC, your role as well.
For me, it's Ash, Sombra, May.
So Sombra May. What was the first one you said?
Ash.
Cass. Gotcha. Cass.
Ash.
Ash. Sorry.
Sorry, he's on his phone.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. No mercy. Ash, Sombra, May. So again, kind of like
And
niche,
Reaper. Like
Reaper.
whatever is needed.
all the cringe
He's
characters.
a
Got it.
really
Okay.
big, like, he has a wide hero pool for DPS. So,
Got
like,
it.
if we need something for DPS played, he's usually the go-to for it.
Got it. Okay. And then Coach Noche, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Coach Josh. And then Astral, roll.
Support, mainly Juno, Lucio, and Brig, Carry. Those are the big 4.
So, Brig. So primarily main support with some flex heroes. Okay. And then Evan.
Oh, I'm tank. I play pretty much everything except Doom. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Do you have a favorite hero or two, or like your strongest?
I like playing Ryan, Monkey Ball. Really, any of the Overwatch 1 tanks that
Yes.
like translated over.
Gotcha.
But his strongest is Ram.
Get
Okay.
fricked, buddy. Get fricked. No fun for you. Right click simulator. Mali.
I play Anna.
Wait, no, I
Bap.
just butchered your name. Male.
Yeah, it's Miley.
Miley. Frick me, man. Miley. Okay. Third time's the charm. Miley. Go ahead. Sorry.
I play Anna, Bap, sometimes Kiri. I just learned Juno though.
Anna, Bab, Kiri. And sounds good. Okay. Okay, so then I want to revisit like the compositions y'all have been playing. I mean, not just like now, but like in times past. When you are running comps, are we doing like Ash Tracer? Are we doing like Mei Cass? Are we doing like Widow, Sombra? Like what is it? The DPS line? Like, give me some lines that you guys have run in like the past few months.
Dude, like we normally do Rom on Coliseum. We do Rom, Ash, Tracer, Juno, Brig, right? I think. No one's backing me up on that, but I don't know.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
think. My gears are turning.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
I
we-
play Juno. I don't remember what Miley plays.
Alrighty, so
I'll say,
usually
All right, RC's cooking. RC's
We've been trying
cooking.
to. We've been
Usually
trying
we
to
keep-
copy OWCS comps.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
we usually keep Lucas on Cass, Tracer, Widow, and I either fill May, Ash, sometimes Cass, and
Got it,
sometimes
okay.
Sombra.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys have a pretty unique skill set in terms of the compositions, which is normal. Like, most teams have something unique, but like you have a pretty strong quote unquote main tank player. You have like a relatively flexible support lineup as well compared to most players as well. You have like some niche DPS picks that you guys can whip out as well. So just general recommendation for compositions is I think you guys should be, when the meta lines up with your hero picks, give it a shot. When you want to learn new heroes, play the meta. But if you want to play to your strengths, like you guys could pull out some weird comps and make them work as well. So just kind of keep that in mind with your strengths. It depends on like whether you're aiming for development or playing for winning. When we're in the Overwatch League and it's the stage 4, we're not exactly playing for development, right? So we're going to play to our strengths. We're going to play to our strengths immediately. But if we're going to look to try and develop things, then we're going to go from there. And so that's kind of like a decision that you guys have to make, whether it's in ECC or the winning your division or whatever. It's like, what do we want to do short term to win games? Or do we want to play like the long game and develop some of our weaknesses because we think that we could be good with those down the road? And that's something that you guys as a team and obviously your coach need to be making. But I do think like reminding yourself that you do have some pretty cool strengths that you guys can be leaning into, like Sombra, Reaper. Having a strong Widowmaker is not necessarily a niche, but it's not something that every team will have. So just kind of keeping that in mind, as well as like your support lineup, right? Like you have a main support player that can play Juno Kiri, right? Like that gives you guys some options, right? So just keep that in mind. Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think in general, like a good principle is trying to play as few compositions as possible, but always having flex options. So like we're going to be primarily a Ryan or a JQ Ram team. That if we get counter-comped in a bad map or whatever, we have the ball Sombra pick that we can always whip out, right? Or we stick with JQ Ram, but we swap our DPS line depending on what we're playing into, right? I think like having as few moving parts and having like a plan of like a rotation is really, really, really important because the last thing you want to be doing in the middle of a match, even in the middle of a scrimmage, frankly, at least every scrimmage, is you shouldn't be thinking about what to swap to. You should already know. Oh, they did that. This is what we do. Oh, they did that. Okay, this is what we do. In fresh metas and new patch notes and all that kind of stuff, will take time to like for you to develop and figure out exactly what that rotation is, but like the priority needs to be solving that rotation. And then obviously, if you need to, you can always adapt that rotation over time, like any other team. But you need to try as quickly as you possibly can get like a base groundwork, because when you're playing in a scrimmage or playing worst case scenario in a match, you really need to know almost immediately, almost instinctually, like what is the swap in these circumstances, so you can focus exclusively on execution. If you're thinking about swapping, your execution's going to suck, and so then you're not going to get really good feedback on whether what you swap to is good or not. Like what's going to happen is like, oh, they went this, I don't know what to play, I guess I'll try this. And because you're approaching it like that, there's a chance that your team doesn't know how to support you. You don't know how to play versus it, and you're not going to execute on it well. So we didn't really get any good information about whether it was a good swap or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of room for experimentation, but I think the simpler the experimentation, the better. I don't like one-tricking comps, but I do like having a couple of options and a couple of swaps and sticking to that. Because even at the professional level, I mean, you guys watch OWCS, right? This is what pro teams do as well. Yes, they have the pocket pick here and there, but they're not sitting in spawn playing tank, rock, paper, scissors, right? They have an idea of like what they swap to in certain situations, but as soon as they possibly can at the professional level, they try to condense things down to a simple system and then execute as well as they possibly can. It's really important to do that. Sound good?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, might be preaching to the choir here, but I think that's worth pointing out here. Now, what I want to do here really, really quickly before we get into the reviews is I want to go down the list, and if you guys have a priority focus that you feel like you guys would benefit immensely from, things that you do poorly, things that you guys could improve on, if you could pick one thing, or maybe two things that you really feel that you should be improving on, what would you say? Let's start with Zopu. We'll just go down the list of what we already did.
I feel like I'm a very strong like mechanical player
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, and I feel like my main issue is I'm not as active as I should be. Like I'm not taking advantage of like the opportunities that I should be in, say like team fights. Like sometimes like when I play Tracer, like I'm just not where I need to be. So it's mostly just like positioning for fights.
Okay. So you're taking advantage of the opportunities that you have using your mechanics. Okay. Is that a confidence issue? Is that a team coordination issue? Is that you trying to not be the main character and dominate things? Or like what the frick's going on?
I mean, I don't have a lot of hours in Overwatch. I'm just strong like mechanically because I've
Got
been
it.
playing like esports, different games for a long time.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Let's keep going here. RC?
So for me, it's not much as an individual play. I think what I would really like to improve upon is better off angles. I watched the Korea LWCS on the Rakasumi, whatever the map is called. And I really like, I think Proper was taking like very aggressive off angles of Ashe. And I've kind of learned how to play Ashe safely. But I want to like get more value of those off angles.
Okay.
And when it comes to improving as a team, I think we do have a game plan, but sometimes our execution is poor. So I would love to execute better, maybe, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but I'm going to need you to be more specific about what about the execution is often lacking. If you're not sure,
when the execution fails midway through, I feel like we have a game fight we go into, we trying to execute as best as we can. When it pays off, it works out perfectly. But sometimes if our ult tracking is poor, or if we do not account for something, if somebody on the enemy team is on an off angle and stuff like that, and our plan falls apart, we don't really communicate that, or I'm not sure how to improve on that.
Okay.
Like quickly adapt better.
Having like a backup or contingency plan in place.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I will say that that's never a problem that you're ever going to be able to solve fully, because the entire nature of Overwatch is two teams that have different plans trying to execute their plan, and then the other team screwing up their plan, right? Like it's just two teams. If you had a plan and you were always able to execute that plan, you'd never lose a team fight, right? But that's just the nature of Overwatch. So I think what we could do is we can look specifically about whether we had a good plan or what their plan was, and ways we could have accounted or tried to predict that as best we can. And then also just embracing, to an extent, some of the chaos, right?
I was about to say how to control the chaos. Well, not even control the chaos, because you can't control the chaos, but how to like find your way in the chaos, either to minimize the loss or to just get go next.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think you made a good point there. Like, to an extent, as best as you possibly can, trying to predict and control the chaos, and then also like a little bit like your mentality with regards to consistency, expecting it not to go perfectly and not being flustered if it doesn't go perfectly. That's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, but good points. Coach.
Yep.
Your priority is obviously the biggest one here. What do you got? What do you feel like we need to
I think
on?
the team's current biggest weakness from my perspective is support healing. A lot of times, even if we're not playing a full dive comp, I feel like our supports are just left to the wind. It's basically like, can we kill their supports before they kill our supports? And I just feel like a lot, and it's like when we play ram comps even too, it's like, okay, like we speed and we run at their team, and whatever happens to our supports happens to our supports. I feel like a lot of effort or attention or not enough effort and attention is given to our backline.
Okay. Astral?
As a support, I want to say positioning. I feel like I die more than I should because I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time. And alt usage with characters, with like support characters, like when is a good time to use alt, how to know if an alt, like how to get as much maximum value out of an ultimate.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. Miley.
Miley,
Nailed it.
yes.
I nailed it.
Mine would definitely be going off kind of what coach is saying, like we do get left, but like sometimes I feel like it comes into play with like the supports positioning. So I think for me personally it'd be like needing help with positioning on certain characters because some characters I know where to stand, some characters I don't. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then Evan.
I think my comms and fight plans just need to be better. Like knowing what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go, how we're gonna do it, what else
Yeah.
we're gonna use, what else they're gonna use, all that.
Is that generally how your communicational structure goes? You kind of have more responsibility with fight planning?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I think so. But like I try to fight plan and stuff like that. But everyone helps with that, of course.
Okay. Okay. When you guys do plan, like how does it usually look? If it were to be democratic, who else is talking and what are they usually talking about?
Probably Mihao helps a lot.
Yeah.
Or sorry, RC helps a lot with like what else they have, what we're gonna do, like what else we're gonna use and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd say probably RC.
The in-fight like target calling though and stuff like that is pretty much mostly all of them.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions before we jump into some gameplay review here?
I don't think so.
All right. Let's smoke it up. What code do you guys want to start with?
Coliseo.
Why Coliseo?
Because we played really bad.
All right. Let me share my screen here. Okay. It's not letting me stream Overwatch. I might need like a special permission or something. I'm not sure if that's something that you guys can help with.
I gave you another role that should give you more permissions, but I mean everybody should be able to stream in here.
Let me retry 1 second. Maybe I need to close down Overwatch again. I'm not sure. It's like I can see share my screen, but it does not have the Overwatch window, which is odd.
It doesn't have that for me either. But I normally can, so that's weird.
That is odd. Maybe it's the channel.
We could try moving to
Let me restart Overwatch, and then if it's still an issue, I'll jump in general and just see if it allows me to really fast.
Okay.
Okay, give me 1 second. Nope. Nope. Well, I ADD'd all the channels, but still no bueno. Let me try in my server, actually. Let me see if it's one of y'all's issues. 1 second. What the heck? Okay, it is a Discord issue. Discord is not letting me stream in any. All of a sudden, yeah, it's not letting me stream in any.
Mine, I can stream mine. Maybe do Control R.
Wait, maybe I can. Let me try swapping off of full screen.
Jeez.
Yeah, it won't let me do full screen Overwatch. I have to do borderless windowed.
Strange.
Ooh.
That's super weird. That is kind of bad. That's totally brand new. Anyway, okay. Well, that's odd. Coliseo. Let's go. Now, why Coliseo? You said you played bad. What makes you say that? Was it the result?
No, we were a lot better than this team, and this like we won the map, but it was just a lot closer than it should have been.
Okay.
But I don't know.
What do you guys think went wrong? Is this
I
a
don't even
scrimmage or a
remember.
match?
Match.
Okay.
I
when,
think
when was this?
Last Friday.
Somebody was saying something. Somebody said, "I think," and then they stopped thinking.
I think I remember. I think when we watched this back later that day, we were like, "Oh, we would try and push in with our tank. Like the supports would push in. Like we would use Juno speed, and then we'd all try and run to dive onto one person. But then their DPS would just do the same thing, and then our support line would die first for their support line. I think that happened a couple times.
Mm-hmm. It's very important to understand what the purpose of a push is, usually. Usually, the purpose of a push with most compositions, and this is very important, is not to secure a kill. It's to threaten a kill. And then, based off of the result of that threat, you're able to take space that allows you to actually secure a kill. Let me give you an example. If you were to jump into the boxing ring, a very common punch is a jab. You guys familiar with what a jab is? Just the front punch, right? It's just a straight punch, right? Nothing complicated. It's not particularly hard hitting. It's easy, it's fast, and it's consistent. The jab is important because what it does is it does have some threat behind it. Like a jab's going to hurt. And because of that, it allows you to set up your cross, which is your backhand or a hook or an uppercut or a follow-up that's usually a lot more lethal. And usually the cross or the follow-up comes from a different angle. It's going to come from the right where the jab will come from the left, or will come from the right when the jab came from or from the left when the jab came from the right, or maybe you'll throw a hook from the outside or an uppercut from underneath. Basically what you have is you have something that's coming directly at you while something's coming around the side. Now the reason why that's important in boxing is because guard is not a static thing. When you move your hands to block a punch or to absorb a punch, when you're blocking a jab, it's coming directly at your face. Put your hands in front of your face for just a second. This is a super dumb analogy, but it's going to work, okay? When you see the jab coming right at your face, your arm's going to come together. Do you see now how you've exposed the sides of your face?
Yeah.
So if somebody were to throw a hook or a cross from a different angle, you're now very exposed to not only the more powerful punch, but a punch that you're not able to block anymore. Overwatch is the exact same. When we push, it's with the intention of threatening pressure, but the actual intention of setting up an off angle from either our DPS or supports or whatever that's actually going to strike something squishy. You see, you look at their guard. Look at the guard of this team. What's the guard of this team? Think about it.
Forward
Maywall,
pressure, I guess.
Maywall, forward, Rhine Shield, right? They have a lot of guard up front. But what are they very naked to?
The sides.
The sides, right? Does that mean that we only attack the sides? Well, then no, because what are they going to do? They're going to shift their guard to the sides, right? And then we're going to have the same problem. But what we do is we establish some sort of pressure from our Ramattra, usually, with Speedring, usually, on main, to set up a pressure on the sides. And who is likely to be there? Look at our comp.
Tracer.
Tracer? Who else?
Ash.
Who else? This is where you guys are, this is very important.
Juno.
Who else? Potentially Juno as well. What's the point of dumping more resources into a Ramattra that's mostly just meant to be a self-sufficient setup? You guys got me? So when you guys were using your terminology, maybe it was just terminology, but of kind of committing, pushing off of a speed ring and committing, that's not what makes your composition unique. That's not what makes any composition unique. In fact, if I'm coaching this team here, I'm thinking, guys, let's put a Rhine Shield here, on main, but we might want to have our Mei like on an angle here because we know that hook is coming. Like let's extend our guard out essentially. But regardless of whatever they do, you need to set up your jab, every push, set up an angle, take space. Because if you get your Ash Tracer here, you don't even necessarily, this is where the difference between boxing and Overwatch, you don't have to keep punching now. Once you get your Ash here, she just has to turn off her brain and just start shooting. And that's it. Once you establish an angle, you don't even necessarily need to push. You can just shoot. Because now you're shooting behind the Rhine Shield. Now you're shooting around the Maywall. And so the problem with our setup right now is what?
It's all up front.
It's all up front, right? There's no support on this Tracer. Should our Juno be with our Tracer here?
Probably, yeah, because she's not getting any value right now.
But wait a second. How are you going to speed ring your RAM?
She can just kind of throw it in there, right?
That's the point, right? By the way, you're welcome for that. That's the first feedback I gave to developers. The speed ring needs more range, so I'm taking full credit for that one.
Nice.
Let's go.
So, and the reason why I gave that feedback is because it's a very important part of your gameplay loop, right? Is the fact that you're able to be on an angle while controlling people elsewhere. That's what makes her unique from Lucio, right? You can speed people that you're not with. And this is what you need, right? Like your Tracer needs help here. She's being guarded, but let's make this a 2-for-1. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what makes your composition unique is you have the speed, but your Juno doesn't have to be in the same spot.
Okay.
And by the way, this is not matchup unique. This is not something that I'm telling you how to play versus a Rhine Mei. This is how you play versus anything.
Okay.
There are small differences in how you play versus other compositions. For example, your Juno's on an angle, they're on a Sombra. Guess what? Your Juno should still be on an angle, but she's going to need the BAP to see her, and she's also going to need to be Tracer hunting Sombra very carefully. You get what I'm saying? But she's still on the angle. Because if you're back here, you're not safe from Sombra either. You guys get what I'm saying? Sniper, same thing. Poke matchup, same thing. Mirror matchup, same thing. Don't
Okay.
worry so much about knowing how to play versus the matchup. Worry about solid fundamentals that will apply across the board. Because if you sit here and try to analyze and memorize every single matchup, you're never going to remember, and you're always going to mess it up. Because you're never going to get enough practice. Like, how many times have you guys played versus this comp on this map?
Once.
Okay. And you may never again.
Yeah.
See, the problem here is we don't have a jab. We don't have a jab, and we also don't have an angle here. We're not speed ring pushing this Rein like we should be. We're also not supporting this angle like we should be. And so we're just kind of sitting there passively. Like, how much, RC, how much damage can you do from this position? What can you even see?
Not much.
Right. Do you remember what you were saying about proper, right? What would proper
Yeah.
do?
Probably would go on left.
Proper would
so-
go in left, and proper would have the support too. Proper would
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
support too. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
You supports. You guys want to keep yourselves alive. Help your DPS out. Your DPS
Yeah,
are your
I-
best friends.
The reason why I was playing in the room and kind of hugging the right side is because I was aware of their widow, and I was just kind of trying to avoid their button.
Understandable, right? Understandable. But if you're going to contest a widow, it's not going to be from here, right?
Yeah,
it's
you're
gonna
right.
Be, it's gonna be here. This is where you can absolutely contest a widow. You have an advantage here. If you died a widow here, you know what? It's okay. You did a good job. It's all right. It's the right play. So what proper would do, right? That's it. And I know obviously you guys already pointed out that there's some weaknesses here, and so I'm not going to beat you over the head with this, but it's just good to kind of point it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why this is working is because as badly as this has been playing, they're also playing badly. And at least you had a little bit of a distraction, a little bit of a cross from your tracer, right? Like right there's this angle from the tracer is what kills the Rein, right? Like he's able to shoot the tracer, the Rein, in the back, and so that works out. But we need support on that. We can't let Jasper clear a tracer out, right? We need to support that tracer. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Find the space that your character is good at controlling. Ram on main, Tracer on an angle, Juno on an angle, while also supporting the Ram. Bap behind the Ram because Bap is just a little bit less mobile and is really good at supporting tank pressure. Like, you guys can kind of fill in the blank here. Like, right. So let's try something different here. Thinking exercises. I want to practice. By the way, we're hammering at this here because this will apply to all of your maps, all of them, all of your compositions. Let's totally pivot. Give me a new DPS line. No more Ash Tracer. Give me a new DPS line.
Sombra May.
Sombra May. Okay, we're playing Sombra May. Give me a new support. One of you guys swap. Miley, who do you want to swap to?
Anna.
Anna. So we're doing Anna, Juno, Sombra May. Where does my Anna play?
Back.
Back. Okay. Where does my Juno play?
With May.
The May to the right, probably.
May to the right. So May's here. Juno's here. Anna's still kind of playing back here, right? Ram's on main. Where's my Sombra?
Probably come to back.
Could be on the back. Where else could my Sombra be?
Short off angle main.
Yeah, short off angle main, right? You could be poking out the Rein from this here, right? Same thing. You got your choice. You can go for the greed angle. And so then if we were to set up our combo here, okay, again, to use a boxing term here, we'd push on main, and what would my May do on the angle here with Juno?
Try to set up a wall.
Yeah.
Maybe pressure out.
You could
Support.
push at the same time, right? You'd push from here. You maybe wall off the Rein here and then push backline, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would my Sombra do in the backline at the same time? Obviously.
Pressure Widow.
What the frick would they do, guys?
Kill the widow.
What would they do? Like, who do you peel? Do you peel your May that's being pushed by Juno and May? She's gonna get our ice block force. Do you peel the Rein who's walled off by being pushed by a nade and a Ram that's punching him down? Or do you peel your Widow who's being harassed by Sombra?
Yeah.
Okay. When you set up space that works for your angles, it's really oppressive. Okay, let's cook one more time. This time I want to swap up our tank. Give me another tank. Ball. Okay, we're going back to Ash Tracer. We're on ball. Ball, Ash Tracer, Astral. Give me new support.
Kiriko.
Kiriko, Miley, give me a new support. On again?
Sure.
Sure. So we'll go Ana Kiriko, Ash Tracer, Ball. Pretty good comp, actually. Maybe not the greatest comp on this map, but okay. So how would this fight look? Let's Evan, how does this go? How does this combo look?
Ball plays right side. Wait, what was it? Ash Tracer, Ball.
Ash Tracer, Ball. Ash Tracer, Ball. Yeah.
I guess Ball and Tracer could play right side.
Yep.
And what are our supports? Kiri
Kiri,
could
Ana.
play with them,
So
and
we
then
got a
Ana,
three-man
Ash
hit
could
here.
play main.
3-man hit here, right, from this angle, right? Multiple different approaches there. Kiriko supporting that flank, and then Ashe on a play super far back. Now, can the Rein Mei just push them?
I mean, when we just pressure their back line if they did that.
You could also just pressure the Mei too, right? Like you slam that Mei, she's done. She's gonna have to ice block that kills the push, right? So when we were talking a little bit about what Coach was talking about peeling, right? You can hit the people pushing you, but as long as you do it from an angle. As long as you do it from an angle, that's the key thing. Because like then the Mei can't wall off everything, the Rein can't shield off everything, and then also that's why we have things like Sleep Dart and Nade and Coach Gun to buy time for you to cut them off, right? But yeah, you guys got the setup nailed. You nailed it first try. Okay, that's it. You guys have the knowledge here. You guys have the knowledge of like, okay, what angles are good? What's my effective range? How can we create good splits here? Kiriko's really mobile, so she can assist off angle. Same thing with Juno. You guys are nailing it. Let's see an active action, right? And again, does it matter what we're playing versus? Would that setup change if you're playing in a dive mirror?
No.
Not really, no. What you'd probably end up doing is you'd end up fighting like a 3v3 over here, right? You'd end up fighting their ball and their tracer or their Winston or whatever, right? And that's usually how dive works. If you've ever seen OWCS, it's like people fighting over space. But it's not. It doesn't really change how you set up all that much. Because like if you think about it this way, what's the best thing you could do for your Ana Ashe to protect your Ana Ashe? Is to fight the flankers on the flank.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden now we've got Proper over here like taking pot shots at their tracer. You know, if she makes one mistake, she's got her head blown off. Right. And that's how dive is played. So, great job, nice job. Like we're cooking. And again, the reason why we're hammering at this so much is because this is Overwatch. This is not about Colosseo. This is not about your Ram Juno. It's about finding your setups, finding your space, and then executing off of that space in a combo together. That's where team play comes. We push on main, we push the angle. We push the angle, we push on main. Sometimes the push can just be shooting. Sometimes it's not physically walking forward. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? I know that was a bit of a clip dump there.
Specifically for this map, is it okay for like, let's say we played like a Mei to play like on that left side, like in the middle?
Like here?
Yeah, like or like a tracer or something like
an
that.
Angle?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So.
Yep, that's it. Yep. An angle doesn't necessarily mean like all the way in the back line. It could just be a different angle to shoot tank. Like if you've seen high level play, a lot of the times because those angles are marked, you're taking these like little short angles and just shooting tank. That's fine. Totally fine.
Okay.
Totally fine. Yep, you got it. Nice shot. Proper on the loose. And this looks better, right? You notice this? This looks better. There's only one problem with what we're seeing right now. What is it? Who's out of position right now?
Juno.
Juno's out of position. We need help here. This is redundant. You guys familiar with that term? Mm-hmm. It's doing two things to do the same one thing when only one thing is needed to do the thing, right? We don't need more healing for our Ram, right? And then that is exactly why you don't play that angle, right? Because you're actually playing the effective range of the Widow, right? You're not necessarily safe behind your tank. That's the key thing here. So preserving your life as a support is a team issue, but it's also an individual issue. And I know both of our supports kind of talked about that. Darcy, I say, RC. I mean, this is how it works, right? Tracer sets up the Ashe. Ashe sets up on the angle. It's closer. Tracer and Ashe working together on the angle while we're also jabbing on main. This is great, guys. This is really well done. Minus the Juno positioning. Supports, man. Boosted supports. R/Overwatch moment. Nah, I'm messing. This is good. A little cooking here. We're a little. Oh no. a little messy here. Like I don't know exactly how. Okay. I gotta know.
Yeah.
So this is where RC should stand still. You understand?
Yeah, I threw that.
You threw that, yeah. You threw that through proximity. You got a little close. Well, maybe. Yeah, okay, we hang in there. Okay. Oh dear. I mean, even the funny thing is even if you're down one here, like when you're down one, back up and spread. Back up and spread. Go back and play your effective range, right? Like this here, this is not safe, right? This is not safe. Okay, let's keep going here. Now, let's talk a little bit about planning because that's my second favorite thing. Off angles and planning. I wake up at night and I start chanting off angles and planning, and my wife hits me with a baseball bat. Now, let's actually wait till we reset. Okay. I'm calling an audible. Let's wait till we reset here. This seems like a good time. Please wait. Okay, I think we're good. Yes, we're good. Okay, so what's the plan here? And I'm going to put the pressure on Miley here. What's the plan?
Take this fight. They're right under us, so we have high ground.
Okay. So spacing. Break down the basics of our spacing here. Where's going to be our jab, and then where's going to be our cross?
The side with Tracer. Our Tracer.
Got it. You got it. Jab here with who? Probably
Ram.
Ram and
Bap.
probably BAP. Yeah, probably BAP. I mean, it depends. I mean, sometimes, you know, like you could have some fun here. You could be the cross with your BAP window. Like occasionally you're allowed to have fun too, you know? But yeah, exactly. Like I think like some form of pressure from here and then setting up maybe a Juno Tracer, maybe the Ashe, like we can have two different splits here. You guys think that's set up okay?
How do we like contest point from there? Like, what if they just walk on our ramen bap with mail? Do we just kite or do we walk into it? Like, what should we do?
So you mean like, so you're saying like speed it in this way just with mail?
Yeah, let's say they sped in that way with mail.
Who should get frozen with mail in that situation? That comes a lot down to spacing, right?
Yeah.
Who should get caught with mail?
Probably the ROM.
Probably the Ram. He's built for that. Bap pocket behind, totally fine. Not an issue. Ram dice, okay. We take, if they push in this way, this is totally exposed. And ironically, these guys are exposed as well. Totally fine. I mean, that's why you play Ram. He's just a punching bag. Get fricked, bud. Okay. What's the plan, though? Because we have our spacing. Miley gave us our spacing. I like the spacing. Zopu, what's our plan here?
So like how I'm viewing it is I'm trying to get like entry pick here on Widow.
Why? What
why?
Are you positioned
Because
for
if
that?
I
Do you have the
take-
ultimate for it?
I don't believe I used Pulse on her, but like my vision was either I knock her off height or I get the opening pick, and then I just kind of have like a free angle down on supports there, and then we can just close in onto them.
Okay, now I'm going to open-end it because our setup is perfect. Everything's cooking. We're ready for anything here. We know that they have mail, Kitsune beat. There's a lot of things that they can push us with, but I think we're okay to catch that. What do we respond with here? What do we open with here? What are our options? And make this as simple as you possibly can. 1 or 2 sentences tops. Anybody.
What if we just Bob point, go for a pulse on the supports? Bob
Works for me.
just holds
That's
off
it.
supports and they can't walk in.
That's it. Look for Bob, look for Pulse. That's all. That's our plan.
Okay.
So your fight plan would be carry their push with support ults, mail, Bob, Pulse. That's all.
Okay.
Ram, BAP window. If you see an opportunity, let it roll, you know, but not the most consistent things that you can set up with the situation right now, especially that Ram ult. So just go. So when we're talking about planning, that's the bare minimum. Are we gonna jab? We're gonna brute force it, and not only are we gonna brute force it, but this is a jab and a. I want you guys to do something really, really stupid for me. You guys ready for this? Put your hands together. Clasp your fingers together. You're making two. Your hands are clasped together. Now extend your arms out in front of you. You just did a jab and a cross together. Do you see how stupid that looks? Okay. You see how ineffective of a punch that would be. It's actually feels almost even less effective than just throwing one punch, right? Where is the jab here?
Nowhere.
Oh, it's definitely somewhere.
In their front line.
The jab is there. The problem is that you jabbed and crossed in the same spot. This is terrible, right? Like, do you see how easy it is for them to disengage this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is terrible, right? So not just the fact that you open with Annihilation, which is a questionable micro decision, but it's also like the Bob placement is not that good, and it's also in the exact same spot as the rest of your team that's pushing. In fact, the only potential life-saving moment that we have here, who's the only person that can clutch this for us? The only person.
Tracer.
Tracer.
Yeah, the Tracer
It
pulse.
has to be Tracer, right? It has to be Tracer, right? And this is not well set up at all. So let's rewind 5 seconds and tell me what should have been done. We kind of already broke down our spacing, but obviously things have changed a little bit. What should we do here?
If we're still gonna like do Annihilation and Bob can be thrown in the same place, but have the Ram come from the other side of the bridge. That way they either run into Ram or they back up
You got
and
it.
run. Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. Or flip-flop, right? Ram drops here, even without Annihilation. Just open with Nemesis form first and then cycle into your Annihilation, right? That's a very important thing you need to be doing. Min-max your armor. You got me? So Nemesis form push from here, totally fine. With Speed Ring, again, totally fine. I like the idea here, just not the Annihilation. But, RC, where should you be bobbing from on the alternative way of looking at it? Where could you come from?
Maybe if he's dropping in the back, I should drop towards like that curve, that second point, the midway point.
Like here?
Yeah.
Just drop Bob right here, mate. GG's. Throw Bob here, GG's. Like, it's over. They're cooked. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, like they will pop Beep, they will pop Kitsune, they will pop Blizzard in a panic, and you're just gonna be sitting on high ground. And obviously, yeah, your Ram's gotta die, but we don't like him anyway. And then you're fine. Like they've blown everything, and you still have the angles, you still have the position, you still have back window, they have no cooldowns, and you still have pulse bomb. You guys are cooking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have the setup here. See, the thing is like, we always knew Ram was going to die, right? We always knew Ram was going to die. The problem is like, look at how cheeks our positioning is. Where's the jab coming from? Again, the same spot. If I'm Rein here, I've got a really easy job. Hold shield if I need to. There it is. Everyone's safe now. Again. Okay, okay, this is it. This is the only opportunity here. I know you're going to clutch it for us, right? Nope.
I don't believe so.
But it's not even your fault. Like, we're teasing you, right? Like, there's nothing. You had no support. You had no support. No off-angle pressure whatsoever. And then, ironically, RC is because RC's here, we're not playing our effective range, and GG's. It's all set up. It's all set up. The idea of pushing with Annihilation was not a good plan, frankly. But the idea of opening with Bob was fine. And the idea of pushing with Ram at the same time as Bob was also it was great. It was the excellent top tier play. The way that we did it, where we did it, was bad. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say one thing that you guys did really, really well, which is very important, is your timing and your team play was really good. So if we go back here, was there any question that we were fighting together? Like, were we all peaking at the same time? The answer is yes. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm.
This is very, very important because as we start to spread out a little bit, it can get mistimed. But I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and soon to be 6 people kind of engaged at the same time here. That's what we want. That's what we want. So nice job. There's always a silver lining. Or a bronze lining. Okay. Setup. What are you guys saying? We got our jab here. Where's our cross coming?
The high grounds.
The high ground, right? The Ashe is cutting off here. This looks really good. You see what I'm saying? This is Overwatch, right? Congratulations. Yeah. You guys actually executed a really nice push here. We got a hard push with Juno here and Ram. So this time Juno's with the Ram. That's fine. We have the BAP helping the Ashe instead, which is fine, right? There's a lot of damage that BAP can do here. The Tracer's coming a little bit from the side, right? I mean, this is great, guys. Like this is Overwatch, right? This is just beautiful. I mean, look at that. Now, you guys had the high ground here, but honestly, the high ground was nice, but it was more about the angle that you had more than anything else. You guys notice that? Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful setup. Really, really, really well done. Nice job, guys. Didn't even take an ultimate either. That's right. Okay. We won't be repetitive here, but what's wrong with the setup?
Only Tracers on the right side again.
Only Tracers on the right side. Everyone wants to shoot through the BAP window, but shockingly, they're going to hide from the BAP window where?
On the right or left.
On the right or the left, right? And now nobody can shoot anything. It's the same thing with Kitsune. Everyone wants to get in it, and nobody wants to follow up to set up the Kitsune, right? Nobody wants to be like, hey, let's enable this BAP window by like splitting and preventing them from hiding, right? No. Everyone wants to shoot through the BAP window. Let's see what happens. Well, it was fun, guys. That was beautiful. Okay. All right. They're gonna Kitsune. And there it is. All right. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Now the good news. Wait. Do you really want me to patch you in the back? Do you?
I do. I do.
You guys paid $75 for me to waste 15 seconds on patting this guy in the back. I mean, that is
wow,
next
bro
level
is
right
turning
there.
the coaching session into an ego bod. Let's go.
Nice job. Now, the good news is that they do overextend because, like, as is common at this level, with all due respect, they didn't have an angle either, right? They didn't really have a setup either. They just kind of pushed it down main, and you guys caught it. Now, the key thing is how did you guys catch it? Let's actually look back and watch. How did they just not instantly win here? Check it out. You see it? Tracer on the angle. You see it?
Yeah.
Who else is on the angle now? It's funny because they actually push here, which creates off angles. You notice that? Like, you guys kind of end up surrounding them. Like, the Mei gets surrounded by 2 people. The Ashe also has a really good angle. Obviously, you guys committed Juno ult as well, which, by the way, was a nice Juno ult. And you're cooking here. And so then look at the Rein. Look at the Rein. Look at how the heck is Rein supposed to shield out of here? What is the Rein supposed to shield right now? Right? Where can he shield?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Ram's inside of him. Ashe is in front of him. Juno's on the side. There's nowhere to go. You surrounded him. You ruined his day. Good job. Accidental, but good job. By the way, I want to clarify one thing very clearly. The BAP window was excellent in terms of the timing and the placement. Could not have possibly been better. The way that we as a team took space off of it before it happened and after it happened was cheeks. But Miley, the BAP window was good.
Okay,
Nice job.
thank you.
Nice job. I want to clarify that I'm not trashing the idea of the BAP window, just like I'm not trashing the idea of the Bob. And honestly, not even the Annihilation was honestly that bad. It's just we need to set it up, right? We need to set it up. So you guys as individuals have used your ultimates for the most part well, placed it well, timed it well. It's just then the positioning and the setup around it has been poor. So in many ways, the planning stage isn't too bad. You guys have using the right ultimates in the right ways. It's just that you're not setting up or taking space as a result in the same way that you weren't not setting up in the neutral either. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is promising, but there's a bit of a disconnect here. What's the disconnect?
It's
Look
only
carefully.
me.
Right. So it's
only
only,
two.
the problem here is there's not we're not quite sure if we're pushing, because if we need to push, when should we push?
Right now,
Like now.
It needs to be now. Why?
because they're engaging.
split.
Because they're engaging. We have a nice angle set up here. I love this setup. Tracer on cart. So she's going to really force point. I think that's good. Tracer's very good at that. Juno assisting the Ram. BAP assisting the Ashe. This is great, guys. No complaints from this, but it has to happen now, because if Ashe BAP leave and we push now, this is where our timing sucks. So this is where our setup was good, but our team play was bad. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's a bit of a mismatch. Now our BAP, Miley, you do a good job retaking the space here. This is really, really good. Like this looks bat crap insane. This is like, Violet Overwatch, right? This is a little bit of a Violet Overwatch moment right here. Like Violet's just gonna ego everybody, right? But you know what? This is good. This is objectively good Overwatch right here. Because now we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 people involved. And honestly, I don't want Ashe on card, but hey, you might as well do something, right? Like, you might as well contribute whatever you can. Okay, coach gun back up top. Night. Dude, this is good, guys. Like, this is super messy, but, like, way to clutch this out. Way to clutch this out. Even the Bob, just to make sure that we keep it. Like, do you see our setup here? It's not terrible. Like, it could be a lot worse. What do you guys see? What do you guys see?
Ryan is cut off from the rest of his team. With
Ryan's cut off?
Bob in front and
Yeah.
then Ashe in his back.
Yeah, and then who else is set up here?
We got like 4 off
Tracer and
angles.
Juno.
Yeah, it's like Veil feels very deathmatchy, but you guys are kind of keeping cohesion. It's like an amoeba, like squirting around, squeezing around. Okay, again, analogy. We're going to stop with those analogies. You're just all over the place, but you're maintaining team play. You're maintaining cohesion here, and it's going to work. Like, you're going to probably... Okay, yep, there it is. Like, that creates opportunities. Now, you just got your head blown off. I respect it. I don't respect the miss, though, so I've lost complete respect.
That's valid. My Pulse bombs are dog.
It's the hardest ultimate in the game. Don't let Genji mains or Winston mains gaslight you into thinking otherwise.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think like this is like a great example of what we talked about, right? Like these guys, you guys have just honestly diffed them in the setup this entire fight. You screwed up the execution pretty badly, but your setup was so good that now, do you see how like this fight is like it doesn't feel losable for them? But what's the problem for them?
They still have a Tracer in the back line.
They still have a Tracer in the back line, and they're also thinking about Robot right now. They need to win this fight first. They have not dealt fully with the Ashe. They have not dealt fully with the Tracer. And guess what? Bad stuff happens.
Wow.
Positioning matters, y'all. This is what happens. Man advantage is not everything. Positional advantage is a big deal. And so now they don't get any push at all. You're going to regroup faster, and there's a chance this Rein dies too. Really well done. Really, oh my days. I tell you what. Okay, to be fair, that was pretty brutal. I will say that. That was pretty unlucky. Okay, at this point I would just disengage. I think you can afford to. They're still too far away. Like, your Tracer's really bailing you out here. But we should have disengaged. And or die. Like, you need to either commit to the disengage or commit to the death, okay? Because we don't want to get staggered here. Like, RC, don't die. Out, yeah. You guys got beat out, which is really good. That's good. Okay, now, fight plan time. You guys will probably have the setup that you want. Zopu's committing war crimes in the backline. You don't necessarily, again, have to go on the flank. You just need a bit of an angle, but I guess the flank has been free, so hey, take the flank. What should we do here? Let's try out Evan. What's the plan here?
Rambap play like the stairs right there where Zeus is playing.
Yep.
Ashe can play like that high grounds. In the middle, Tracer do where Tracer is right now.
Okay, sure.
And then I like Juno playing. Actually, I think Bat plays middle with Ashe, and then Juno plays with the Rein or the Rom.
Your supports, I think Bap and Juno just kind of feel things out to see what opportunities are available. We've seen a couple of times where Juno pushes with the Ram and then Bap just takes the angle and just shoots and vice versa. I'm okay with it. Like, you guys can just kind of use your gut instincts, but just don't be stacked all the time. Now, the key thing here, what's the ult situation?
They have a lot more than us.
They can push, but I don't know if I agree with they have a lot more than you. It's an asterisk, right? Because what's about to happen for your ult economy?
We're about to get 5.
You're about to get 5. So how should you play the next 15, 20 seconds?
We should poke it.
Take the positions. Don't play in your spawn. Don't play passively grouped up. That's bad. Take the angles, but don't commit to your jab yet. Just kind of shoot and see what happens.
Okay.
Force their CDs by taking the positions. Force the wall. Force the ice block. Force the amp. Force the Suzu. Force the weight break a little shield. And then when you get the ultimate that you want to push off of, go. You got me?
Yep.
Because they want to push here, but if you guys take the positions away from them, you're going to kill the push. Like, if you push this Ashe out right now, their push with Kitsune up the stairs is not going to work because they're not going to have an angle off of it. They're going to be all grouped up in a line, which means that, yes, Evan's going to get his face smoked in again, but Evan can take that. Backline should be fine. I mean, again, do you see the setup here? What do you see? One angle. Ashe is worried. Kiriko's worried.
Angles.
1, 2, 3 angles. Even the fact that your Ram is here and your Ashe is here while Tracer's here, that's all we needed. That's all we needed. What's the problem?
No angle.
No
Well, just
angle?
one in
Which
the main.
means what's the value of this Mei wall and Mei ult? Potentially.
A lot.
A lot, right? You guys might lose this because you guys got greedy, stacked, and you're thinking about, oh, you might be in trouble here. You might be in trouble here. And there it is. There it is. It's funny how, like, oh, I ate Fire Strike, unlucky. Nope. You suck, right? You suck. It's your problem. It's your problem, right? And also, even just look at how much space that you guys lost because you guys were grouped up. Your BAP doesn't even get frozen. Okay, your BAP does get frozen, but honestly, like, I understand there's an urgency to contribute here because we were just too stacked. Now, instead of just calling you guys idiots, because that's fun for me, what needed to change right now? What needed to change?
We needed to take it more aggressively.
Honestly,
who?
you could have used that room on the right too.
So you're saying who would go here?
Ashe.
Yeah.
Ashe with
I was
who?
about to say, I probably,
Yeah, Ashe Juno.
Ashe
After they
Juno,
put-
sure. Ashe Juno, sure. Now you're going to notice that we don't have speed ring value here, right? Because you can't reach the realm. So is that still worth it?
If you replace Juno, like put Ashe back there instead,
You
and
could.
then keep Juno up.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could. You
Who
could.
has more healing output?
I think
Right.
our ROM's cooked here anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
I think so too. I actually don't think it matters who you put here. I think you could put Juno and Speed or Rum, or you could just be like, all right, this guy's dead. Let's
So
just use our Juno
should we-
here.
Should we put BAP there because BAP has more killing power?
Can I be honest? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. In these situations, don't overanalyze it. Just go with your gut. What feels good? Who's going to recognize this opportunity first and go with it? This game is too fast-paced for you to analyze it like that. So just go. If your Ash is there and just first person that recognizes this, just go. Because if we commit, like, let's just put Juno Ash here. Merry Christmas. Right? Not only will your Ash live here, but you're going to build Bob, and then you're going to win the fight. And then your Ash Juno will live, your Rom will die, the BAP will manage positioning space. The key thing here is spacing, Miley, and really good for you to know as well, Astral, right? I want you guys taking proactive angles, but do main inch your spacing versus a composition like this. You're too close, way too close. But your Rom will die, your BAP will be here-ish, Ash Juno on the angle, like, they will be lucky to even kill your Rom. I'm not going to lie with you guys.
I have a question on the rotation there. So when I'm set up on the high ground, the off angle right before they pushed in, should I rotate through the building or should I just drop right there?
Up to you. If you want to drop and then coach gun out to the stairs here, I'm okay with that. There's risk involved 100%, but remember, you also got a support glued to your butt. Because the thing is that the reason why we're supporting you on these angles is not because we're thoughtful and kind and sweet. That's part of it. But also because if I'm playing Juno, I want to be here too.
Okay.
This is how I get maximum damage value. This is how I manage my space versus the Rhine. This is also how I get max AoE torpedo value because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off of this angle here, right? So it's good for me too, right? And you're going to notice that a lot. Go ahead.
So also question, when I do take an off angle, and I am taking it like consciously, obviously, do I call for support? Like, is that like, should be like,
what
hey, I'm
I
going
want
off.
you to do, great question. What I want you to do is to call that you're taking the angle and then don't say anything. Let it happen. Supports, listen for this and support it when it's convenient.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
If basically what will happen is you will allow your supports to make that decision for themselves, and so that way you don't have to micro them. Because there might be a situation where your supports don't want to support you. They want to take their own angle. Maybe you're playing Kiriko and you have your Kiriko with the Tracer instead and you're by yourself. It's okay. It's fine. You'll be fine. Because the Kiriko Tracer will mean that there's so much attention on that Kiriko Tracer, you might not even need support on that angle anymore. And or if you die, they will avenge you, essentially. So don't ask for support. Just tell your team you're taking the angle. And supports, that's your priority. Where are people? Where do I need to be? Either assist the angle or get your own selfish value. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have a problem with your fight plan here. It looked like we got the initial setup. We looked like we were looking for a push, I think with Rom ult there, which would have been fine, right? Like I think Annihilation here while doing our setup here would have been totally fine, but we just didn't get the setup that we wanted again. So let's actually go ahead and move to another map just so that we can talk about different situations. Blizzard or Lijiang?
Blizzard, right?
Blizzard.
Yeah.
That okay? Okay. Any questions so far, y'all?
Not really.
I actually do have one. So what should we be mainly communicating and like for example, like I am taking on a flank, so that's all the information I need.
Yes.
But like what are some like general communication I guess rules?
Absolutely.
Or like
two things, okay? Three things actually. One, what's the plan? Which you guys seem to already have a general idea and are doing fairly well. Okay? Number two, what angle or what flank or what space are you taking? Okay? Just exactly what you just said. I'm taking this position here. I'm flanking here. Or or even as a tank, I'm going to hold this corner here, right? And number three, when are you jabbing? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are we jabbing? Now, the key thing here, I want you guys to pay very close attention. I don't care who calls the jab. Because maybe your tracer on the back line is the jab. Maybe your tracer on the back line is the first initiator that allows your ram to kill the Rhine. Because when we think about the jab, we've only talked about it from the standpoint of the main tank creates the space. And that's usually the case, right? But what if our Ash taking the angle is the jab? What if that's what provokes the response and the Ash enables our tank, tracer, etc. to actually secure the kills?
Okay.
So whoever wants to call, I'm taking the angle, get ready. right? Or I'm pushing in now, get ready. Or I'm flanking now, get ready, right? That's the jab. Whoever wants to call that. Probably will be tank 8 times out of 10, right? But just something to consider. And that's the timing window. That's what allows us to combo our punches. A jab cross is only good if the cross follows up off of the jab immediately. If it's a jab and then you wait 5 seconds and then throw the cross, how's the guard going to be of the defender?
Wait, one more. What'd you say?
Sure, it's fine. If you throw a jab and wait 5 seconds and then throw the cross, is the defender going to be ready for that cross?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. You has to be jab, provoke a response, immediate follow through from somewhere else. That's the timing window. That's the team play. Okay. Why this VOD? Just a different composition, different situation?
Yeah, I think we could have played this better too. Like, I think
Okay.
we played better than we did on Colosseo, but
Okay.
definitely we could have played this better.
Now, we don't even have to ask the question because remember we talked about this first fight Colosseo. What if we were to play ball, Ash? Here it comes. Here it comes. Let's check our setup here. Let's check our setup. What's the problem? Is it our setup?
No, it's
It's
timing.
execution.
It's the jab timing is what it is. Your setup here is actually quite good. It's perfect. Kiriko, Tracer, Ball playing the space that they want to play. Brigitte and Ash playing the space that they want to play. We got a crossfire. If you guys were to synchronize this right now, there's a real chance that this Tracer or this Ash dies immediately because this Tracer will get no help because the Ash and Winston on a Brig will be distracted and or the Ash will get bonked by the ball and then crossfired by the Ash. It's just timing. And it's actually not even bad. You guys are like a full second off. Like you're almost there. Like just a little sooner, right? That's all. But yeah, beautiful setup, guys. Well done. Like it's like a complete pivot from last map. Maybe it's the type of comp. Maybe it's the whole Ram stuff is like speeding, baiting us to not take space, right? But this looks much better. At least at the start. Good stuff. Again, the setup is beautiful. Miley here.
All right.
You know. Hey, listen. I respect the Suzu greed. I respect it. I understand. Like, I really don't want to use my Suzu. Yeah, it's okay. Timing issue here as well. Just communicate it. Like communicate. Remember, jabs might come in rapid cycle, especially if you're playing with a ball, right? I'm in. Because we need to be peeking here. Like this is a really good engage from you, Evan. Like we need to be pushing off of this. We need to be shooting this Winston in the face, at least, right? So, it just feels like we're a little slow. And then here's the problem. You guys kind of see the problem here. Like we're starting to lose a little bit of space. We need to try to retake space. And then how do we push this here?
I was thinking Tracer on the right side, I guess, and I go around back here, so I can pressure their height and maybe boop one off to the right. Tracer feeds that.
Sure.
If not, I can slam that, and then Ash, Brig, and main.
Yep. I think as simple as just put your Ash Brig here, ball initiates from here, and then honestly, Tracer, you can float. You can either wrap around this way, or honestly, you could just follow your ball. You know, follow your ball.
I think I get into a Tracer duel here.
Okay, that's fine.
It is following
This looks good. This is good. Go ahead.
Is following the, like if we're playing ball Tracer, because we kind of played that a lot, is following the ball okay with that, and then we just slam and take fights together? Like, do we do that a lot, or?
Remember the rule. The rule is always play selfishly. Always play the angle that makes the most sense for you. As a Tracer, before the Ana got a sightline on you here, did this position feel relatively useful for you as a Tracer?
Yeah.
Relatively useful, so then that's all that matters, right? If
I
ball,
felt like ball was gonna go height, I wrap around stairs, shoot him in the back.
Yeah. So Evan, I don't know if you screwed up the rollout or you got bonked or what. Yeah, it's fine, right? But this
Didn't
is fine.
you get whipped?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So the rollout screwed up, but like it doesn't matter. Just play whatever you want to as a Tracer. Right? It might be with ball. If you guys are working together, great. If not, well, ball commits here. Tracer shreds this guy like like paper, right? And then we get a favorable cooldown trade either way. The best thing you could do in terms of team play is just play your selfish angle. Don't try to help each other out. Help each other out by fighting at the same time. Like even as a support, right? Like when we're talking about like who should support which support, it's like the support playing selfishly, right? What do you guys think of your setup here?
Kind of like it.
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I'm all right with it. Brigitte kind of like floating, right? Yep. No problem here. Tracer marking the angle. This is a good position for Tracer. So You just take the Tracer duel. Why? Because she's there,
I take
right?
Tracer duel and then I go right on to Ash.
It's beautiful. Like this is really good, guys. Like this is really, really good. I think setups with so far have been much better. The problem here is I don't want us rotating too far away from this monkey. If you're gonna rotate away from monkey, rotate to a different off angle, right? Because here you're getting surrounded and you're standing in the middle of nowhere. Look at the space that we control now. You see how quickly this devolved? What could we have done differently?
I was just about to ask, where would you suggest I should go from here? Maybe like behind Tracer, I suppose?
Here's a question. Are you playing your range here?
I just booped away from the monkey.
Sure. What about here? What about here? What about rotating to here?
Yeah, that was. I think rotation would have been better, like all the way around.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie with you. Literally anywhere than where you went would have been fine.
What if,
Okay.
Literally anywhere. Go ahead.
what if the Ash just fought that monkey? Because the Ash has a brig. Like, the monkey's not really going to kill her. Is that like a throw, or is that...
You tell me.
They're
What do
on
you
a
think,
brig or
RC?
on a high ground, they can support monkey.
True.
Okay.
I was about to say, there's no way I'm getting up there.
Yeah, but you can still, like, throw packs low ground.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. You
Yeah,
guys
but
can-
also if you play low ground there too, you're not really at a big threat because you're playing as Ash and Brig, so you have enough kill power to push monkey off of you, right?
Yeah, true.
So you could just take the angle he was talking about earlier,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I
or
agree.
just wrap around.
I'm not gonna lie with you guys. All these ideas that you're kind of spitballing are all pretty reasonable, right? So if this kind of stuff happens and you guys figure it out, like, and you're not sure what's better, just go with something and figure it out. I think all of these have like logic behind them. Don't worry about too much about it. I will say one thing that's important now is not just don't rotate to point, but also at this point in time right now, I think Miley, like pretty quickly here, you should get off of point because you're no longer up one. The priority is again on winning this fight again. So at this point in time, you probably should go follow your Tracer, take the 2v1, clear that out. Because beautiful, you're a wizard, Harry. Because you're no longer value here. Like you're not going to be able to keep your Ash Brig up. But what you can do is you can assist this here and then kill this, right? So your Brig gets traded, Brig Ash, but that's their fault, not your fault. They missed position, and then now this fight is still winnable because do you guys have space?
Yes.
A metric butt ton of it. You have this
Yeah.
fight now. You've clutched this fight out. And Miley, I'm not gonna lie, this is 90% all on you. 10% goes to Zopu here, but honestly, you freaking clutched this fight. Beautifully done.
Thank you.
And credit also to RC who, recognizes a mistake and does back out to the angle, right? And so like if you're gonna die, it's gonna be really inconvenient. So hey, like we fixed it mostly. It's fine. It's a mechanical error, but the positioning was good. I need to stop complimenting people. It always comes at the worst possible time. But no, like all things considered, like yeah, it's a mechanical error, but your positioning was perfect. Good try the pulse bomb. Very reasonable. Would have gotten the kill for sure. Yeah, I mean honestly, like a couple of mistakes from Miley, a couple of mistakes from RC, some screwed up rollouts. And obviously like Astral struggling to kind of follow the Ash rotation. Like this is just mechanical errors and a couple of minor positional errors, but y'all's approach and setup has been 10 times better than on Colosseo. You should feel really good about this. Keep up the good work. Timing. You see it?
A second.
It's just a second. Now, I understand here, like, your window of opportunity is not very big here, Evan. Like, you need to go now, but this needs to be communicated. Guys, we need to walk, we need to walk, we need to walk, we need to walk. What should our setup look like from our backline here? What do you guys think?
We should be set up on that left side there, getting ready to follow up on his initiation.
Kiri Tracer probably again here. Ash Brig again here. Force this Tracer out, take the angle and backline. Again, it's the same thing. Like, there's nothing super creative here, right? Just do your thing, take your space. And the reason why this is so important, because if you set up, right, then you don't have to do this to contribute. You're already where you need to be. If you just walk on the right here, this is where you need to be. You get pressured out, well, then now you TP to safety, right? That's the problem. Go ahead.
Also, if we have Kiri there, we probably kill Ana here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. This is why TPing in is so bad, because it's not that the TPing in is always bad. It's just that it's a red flag that you weren't set up properly to begin with. I like the proactivity though. I really do. Like, I mean, sometimes it's okay and like I'd rather you do that occasionally than you just to sit inside your own backline. But yeah, this is a bit of a mess.
I'm not gonna lie, I beam this monkey.
I'm not
Like,
looking at your POV.
unironically.
I'm not looking
No,
at your
you
POV.
don't even have to. I already know. I could just tell.
Okay. Now, the good news here is that we've got to a bit of a planning stage here because we've actually like had a bit of a fight win, some restabilization here. Now, let's assume our ult tracking is like relatively accurate here. First off, let's start with staging. What do you guys think of our staging right now?
Kind of all over the place.
It's terrible, right? It's terrible. Like, it's really, really quite bad.
I probably should be already on the high ground.
Who was that? Was that RC?
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so then who else? So RC's on turret. What else? Break it down hero by hero. Don't even think about the ult economy. Just focus on what we see. RC on high ground. What else?
Miley may be on high ground because she can always TP in support. Break pushes up high ground with Ash.
Okay. So
either
Brig
play-
Ash. Where is Evan? Evan, where do you want to stage? Like in the next 2 seconds? Like you're gonna roll out. Where are you gonna roll to?
I think your mic is off or muted.
I mean, I'm not
I
complaining.
can't hear you.
It's nice and peaceful.
No,
get
I still
tired of
can't
those.
hear. No.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
There we go. Wait, I'm lost now. I was gonna say I want to play that right room.
We have Ash Brig. We have Ball here. Where's Miley?
Oh, with ball,
Art.
I think.
With ball. Yeah. Okay, so who's got cart?
Tracer.
I have cart.
That's it. Why is Tracer on cart? Tracer has pulse bomb. Why should Tracer be on cart?
Because she can easily get to the fight, and
Well, yes, but this-
everyone else provides support.
Yes,
That's better
can-
than hers.
Pretty much push it for free.
those are all very true things, but there's one other weird factor in here as well. Zobu, is there really a great, powerful off angle for you with the way the fight is right now?
No. I
No.
think what ends up happening is their tracer overextends via ego and then loses a duel.
Right, via ego. Of all people to say that. So yeah, I mean the idea here is that like the reason that we have Tracer and card is not just because everybody else has powerful positions, but also because there really isn't a great position for Tracer right now. This is like the big open wide expanse. I don't see any value for my Tracer to be on top right now. Like if everything's too far away, there's not really good angle, it's too open. So just plop your Tracer and cart, control space Ash Brig here, Ball Kiriko here. And remember, I didn't tell you where to set up. You told me where to set up. No excuses. Now, once the fight starts, what's the plan? We've got 3 really easy ultimates to use.
Since our Kiri's up there, we could probably bob out their high grounds, and then once they drop Kiri on them, something like that.
Yeah, we could open with Bob and follow with Kiri. Could open with Kiri and follow with Bob. We could open with Mines at some point as well. Like we're cooking, guys. We can't plan around Pulse. Obviously can't plan around Rally as well. But they're going to try to initiate with a Nano Winston or maybe with a Bob of their own, and we're just going to respond. We're just going to fight them for it. Okay, let's see what happens. So setup here is like F tier, right? Like the ball's going in. There's no follow-up. We've got 3 people on cart. The one person who is on high ground with our ball is Tracer, who thinks that she's a Widowmaker, apparently. Again, this is why we have Tracer on cart at this point in time, because this is just there's just no real safe way for you to do this. And then via Ego. Right, this guy. And shockingly here, man, who the frick could have anticipated that from happening? You being on high ground is what stops this from happening. You whip them, you disengage, you're in a much safer position. You're in a better position, you can live their ultimates better. What the frick are we supposed to do from this position here? Look at her Bob, sitting on the floor. Terrible. Embarrassing, shameful. Cotton 4K, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just, oh my days, like, what is this? What space are we getting off of this? Like,
Yeah, me and Miley were like, yeah, let's just throw our ultimates for nothing.
well, it's because you just don't have space, right? Like, again, it's not that using Kitsune or Bob in response to a Nano Winston is bad. It's fine. The concept of that in a vacuum is good. Does that sound familiar? It's the same thing with Colosseo. The idea of using your ultimate or BAP window in that way is good, but the positioning and the setup is cheeks. It's just terrible. That's the problem. So you shouldn't really be upset that like, oh, I shouldn't have used my ultimate there. I think you kind of had to. Like, I think if you don't use Bob there, I think that you guys just maybe lose there. But man, like, it feels bad to be like, oh, we had to do that because we just didn't have any positions. And the thing is we're still in the same problem. Like, we're still 2 on cart, ball on the floor. Like, we're still not controlling any space at all. This is just becoming a mechanical game. And that's just not a game that you guys always want to play. Like, play the mechanics from a better position. Like, this is just mechanics, right? I mean, like, this is good shots, but, like, there's nothing clever or creative about this. They've given up the high ground. Leave cart, take the high ground, plop your tracer on cart, and dare them to retake it from you, right? Take the space. Let's
So in the big open points or maps, is it just generally used for like open spaces, like for example, like second point in Blizzard World, just to have tracer on cart?
If she doesn't have a better off angle, then yes. If she does, then somebody else will have to take the cart responsibilities. That could be Ball, it could be Kiriko, it depends.
Okay.
Depends, yeah. The reason we have Tracer and cart here wasn't just because, everyone else wants positions, but also because there just wasn't really a good flank for Tracer, right? It's too much high ground, too much wide open space. That's pretty much it, yeah. Okay. Let's look at our setup here. So obviously we rotate off of height. Okay, fine. What should our space be?
I should probably be height.
Who's Zopu, right? Zopu
Yeah.
height. Who else was Zopu?
Miley.
Miley. Where should our Ram be?
Left side.
Left side
With-
or right side,
with
right?
Juno. Yeah.
What about RC and Astral?
I think Astral should be. Oh, I'm thinking either with Tank or with the Reaper.
Okay.
I think Reaper plays left side, our Ram plays right side,
so.
and then Astral can play with either.
Reaper can control here, Ram here, Anna Cass here, and you ready for this one? This one's kind of fruity. Astral, you just sit here. You kind of hover in between the two.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you can kind of make a choice here, right? Or you could honestly, you could even rotate all the way over here if you'd like to as well. Just kind of play like your own. This is kind of like where it becomes less about like your Juno playing to support. It just Juno just plays selfishly, play your own angle, right? And because you have phenomenal range with Juno, you can heal and support anybody from distance. You could speed anybody from distance. You could torpedo. You could damage. You can heal. You could just do your own thing. So I'm predicting that we're gonna group up a little bit too much.
Any other spots?
Yeah, this is a little messy. Like here, we do kite it out relatively well, but you see how we have some space problems here, right? Like I'm a little bit concerned that Jasper's gonna just smoke us. And there it is, right? Like just because they had a pincer on us. So we trade nicely though. I will say that. Let's give you guys one more fight to see what you guys go for setup. This is kind of a fun comp. I kind of like it. It's neat. This is the kind of stuff that I was saying that you guys can just like cook up, This isn't meta by any means, but you're playing relatively strong characters that can all help each other in different ways. Yeah. This is just mispositioning from a few people, right? Like Zopu, wake up, right? Like you're standing in the middle of the open, right? You need to take top here. This angle here, we can support you here. We can't support you here. And then Miley or Astral Band, like we could put Astral here now. Astral supports this. We leave Miley in this corner here. We're cooking, right? If everybody just thinks about like what's the optimal angle for me to play, then you guys can do well, right? It accidentally works out okay, right? By the way, do you notice how we're able to peel our Ana? Why?
I smoked him.
Okay. Okay, but look at this. The reason why we're able to peel the Ana is because is Astral under any pressure whatsoever? No. Because Astral's split, Astral can fully focus on, here it comes. I can see it coming. I got full pocket. If you guys had been together, you die. You die.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
But because you guys were split, you're able to fully pocket each other. Obviously, there's some exceptions to that rule. Brigitte sometimes does benefit from being closer to the support, especially when there's a threat of dive. But like, you're not booping anybody with Juno, okay? But you are going to pocket them. And so this is amazing. Now we did give vibing their 15 seconds. So let's give Miley
Oh, this is so cool. We watched this in the VOD review.
execution right there. Look at this. Wait for it. I got her. Oh, Nice,
Yes,
nice,
cooked.
nice guys. Better setup than last fight, still not quite good enough. The imposter was Zopu though. Besides Zopu, I think everybody else was relatively okay. Maybe Vibing could play a little bit more kind of forward, just to where you can decide to punish tank or punish backline, your choice here. But beyond that, I think like RC's in a pretty good angle here. Like you can trade backlines here. Something else you could do RC as well is like it's really unsexy, but you could do what you would do what Zopu was doing on Tracer and sit in the small rooms and fight the Tracer here. So just be like, this room is really good for Reaper because it's short sightlines. So maybe I'll fight Tracer, maybe I'll fight Winston, maybe I'll fight Kiriko. Like you're probably more likely to run into conflict in a small room on an angle than you are just kind of hovering.
So my idea of playing kind of the area I was playing there, and you can correct me if I'm wrong for that thinking, is like if the monkey engages and the supports follow up, I have a very, very like easy way to just get on the back line at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. The problem is with this support line, they just might skip you entirely. Is the problem. You see what I'm saying? Like they're going to be here, and then Lucio's going to speed here, Kiriko's going to TP top, and then all of a sudden you're kind of floating and there's nowhere for you to shoot. Does that make sense? Did we lose you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, there's just a chance like all three of these guys are gonna be like, oh look, there's a Reaper over there. Anyway, over here, right, and then there's just nowhere for you to go. So the solution a lot of Reapers make, which is the wrong, which is to sit inside their backline. But that might be where you kind of proactively try to contest the space where they might want to be coming from. But yeah, okay. Any questions, guys? We talked about a lot, obviously.
Do you think our ult usage is like fine?
Yes. I think your ult usage when it's bad is a consequence of your poor setups. I think the ideas when you do have a clear plan and setup, like actually let's just look at one more fight. Let's just skip ahead the first time that you guys get an ultimate. Let's see what happens here. We don't even use an ultimate here. Okay, this is a disaster. Maybe this is the first time it's been ugly. I think this is, you guys just need to press Q here. Because you have Nano and you have Juno ultimate, like those are both great ultimates to be using right now, right? Like this is a fight happening. So maybe you guys are overthinking this one a little bit. The only person that seems to be a little bit more proactive with their ultimate usage is Evan, which is ironic because Annihilation is probably the worst ultimate to be proactive with, just because it is so limited and so like. But okay, let's give you guys another chance. I'll give you guys another chance. We got to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. What do you got? Oh my days! What is going on here? Oh wait. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. The setup, like you can see it even here, right? Like everybody just jumps off the high ground now, and so now, like, I mean, really here, Miley, who should you nano here, and where should you nano them?
The McCree or the Cass.
You got it. Just use it here. Look at hold the space here. Nano Cassidy. This Winston is dead. Why?
Yeah.
Because where's the back line? Gone. Either dead or gone. Right. Hold the position. Use the nano on high ground. Use the Juno on high ground. So I would put it this way. Your ult usage is mostly fine in terms of when you're using them. It's mostly fine in terms of planning. I don't hate it. It's fine. I would prefer you guys to think a little bit more about how you want to set up those ultimates, though. Especially with the information that you guys now have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
No.
Okay. Priorities for you, if I were to set goals. Practice your setups. Don't just think about angles, but think about like what positions does my character like? And can I get support from those positions? Supports. Don't just think about supporting the angles. Think about what's the best position for me too. Then jab, cross. You understand? Timing. You got to time it well. And finally, really this is the first step more than anything else, is having a plan of like what is that jab cross going to look like? Okay. Especially when you have ultimates on. Remember, this doesn't change on your composition. The space that you might hold might change if you're playing Reaper versus Widow, but you're still controlling an angle. You're still crossing. It just where you're crossing from changes. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Good luck with your